Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about the box office bomb of the Flash movie. See, I told you months ago in a couple of videos, you can't trust nobody with beady eyes. I told you, you cannot trust James Gunn when he said that The Flash is the best superhero movie he ever saw. I told you something was off with that statement. He was forced to say that. Like, seriously. And you know he was forced to say it because, like, you gotta remember, the man has made superhero movies himself. He had made a television superhero, well, anti superhero series. So for him to say The Flash is the best he ever saw, you knew he was lying. There was too much hype surrounding this movie. When there's that much hype, then you know that it's gonna be a bad movie. It's the rules of a movie trailer. If you watch a movie trailer and the movie trailer is so awesome, so amazing that it throws all the best parts of the movie in the trailer, you know the movie's gonna bomb. It's the same thing when a movie trailer says, like, from the creators of such and such movies or the writer of this show or this movie. They're trying to hype it up because they know it's not that great. There were so many TV spots from around the world that looked amazing, but it was mostly the same stuff over and over, hyping up the same stuff that people liked. And, the writing was on the wall for this movie for the longest time. They should have just done a tax write-off of this movie. People have been saying that ever since Ezra Miller went to go be Ezra Miller. Ever since, Ezra Miller doing that whole criminal crap. They should have either wrote this movie off or recast them. But no, people's all like, this movie cost too much money to make. Over $200 million to make. Similar to that of Black Adam. But plus Black Adam had over that for advertisement and stuff. But because this movie costs so much, and because Ezra Miller is in literally every... Oh, by the way, I have never seen this movie yet. My criticism right here and now is not that of the movie. Let me just make that perfectly clear. I have not seen this movie. My criticism is the crap that has been going on with Warner Brothers in DC for the past decade or so. They cannot get their act together. And a lot of crap has been fumbling a lot with their movies. And they're just making things worse. This is what this video is about. All right, so I just want to point that out. I have not seen this movie yet. Do I plan on seeing this in theaters? No, because of two reasons. One reason, I got tinnitus, and it's so severe now that it's in both of my ears. Also, I will not be seeing this movie because I refuse to give Ezra Miller any money. And I refuse to give him any money on digital or Redbox. I will only watch this movie when it comes out on HBO Max because I'm not paying no additional cost. But I refuse to give my money to that of a criminal and everything. But back to what I was saying before. They should have just written this movie off as a tax write-off. I mean, they did that with Batgirl. Supposedly, Batgirl was so supposedly terrible that they had to do a tax write-off to get some money back. I don't believe for a second Batgirl was that terrible of a movie. I just don't feel it in everything. Especially with some of the behind the scenes stuff I saw on YouTube. And then they had Peter Safran go on as to say, oh, how terrible the movie was. Nah, man, I don't believe that. I believe they forced him to say that, like they forced James Gunn to say, The Flash was the best movie ever. But the thing is, they did a tax write-off of that so they can get the money back. And they did it when the movie was just about to air. It was nearly complete. It was nearly finished. They scrapped that movie for one, a man with a giant ego being The Rock, and two, a criminal being Ezra Miller and stuff. Because those two movies cost way too much money. And so they should have just written the Flash off as a tax write-off. It cost so much money to make. They would have made tons with the money they got back from it. But they felt, you know what? Like what's his name? David the Devil Zaslav. He said himself, "Oh, this is a blockbuster movie. Black Adam's a blockbuster movie. The Flash is $1 billion blockbuster movie. Shazam 2 is a box office movie." All three of those movies bombed financially and everything, and critically and stuff. Although The Flash is getting some pretty good critical praise, it's bombing financially. It's not even making its budget back, not even half and everything. And this is just the domestic opening and stuff. Maybe it'll do good overseas. Who knows, But for right now, in the 4-day domestic thing, the last I read is only raking in at 60 million and stuff. And it has a B cinema score. And they should have just done a tax write-off and just like you say, you know what, we're not going to support a criminal, blah blah blah, and this and that. But then people are saying, it costs too much money to make. So in Ezra Miller's literally in every scene. So people said, why not recast with somebody who looks like Ezra Miller? No, because they didn't want to put the additional money. Look, I think if they would have recast Ezra Miller, that movie would have done a bit better and stuff. Because of the simple fact, people are not going to let go what Ezra Miller did, and they're not going to let go how the WB has punished other stars who have done absolutely less or nothing at all. David the Devil Zaslav has no freaking clue as to what he is doing. He is a reality TV man. He knows nothing about drama, comedy, action movies, superhero movies, nothing like that. But yet he is now the man in charge because he put up the bucks to buy the company and stuff. He has even ruined CNN to the point where people are furious at the direction CNN has gone in and stuff. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's making all the big bucks. And this man is a problem. He is the main and sole problem of what's going on currently with the Warner Brothers stuff and DC. Because of the simple fact, his vision is abysmal in everything. He assumes just because something's like a big blockbuster, like superhero CGI fest of a movie, it's gonna do well. But when there are factors within those movies that are causing them to fumble, he does absolutely nothing to fix those fumbles and everything. Instead, he has people go and fix those solutions. It's kind of ironic how Ezra Miller is not sitting in a prison cell right now. Ezra Miller should, but somebody flipped that bill to make sure that did not happen. Ezra Miller has gotten away with way too many criminal charges. Some charges that are still accusations, and other that is like proven fact. Like there are people who can actually prove that Ezra Miller did some of this stuff because they was there and the police showed up. And so it's like there are way too many allegations against this criminal, and yet they decided to put all their proverbial chips on this criminal, thinking people would forgive Ezra Miller because how good the movie is. But people don't forget. And then when you start screwing us out of actors and actresses we do like, well, you know what's gonna happen? We're not gonna support somebody we don't like. And so that brings us to the next subject at hand. Cameos that were cut and actors who didn't even get a chance. Now, there are 3 different versions of the ending to The Flash. Only one of them made it to the big screen. This reminds me of Scream 3. They had multiple versions of the ending, and Scream 3, while okay, is not the greatest Scream movie, but it's still okay and everything. It was interesting and clever, but the cast is what let the movie down because they're a bunch of D-list cast members that they brought in just to kill off and everything. And so with these different endings, one was originally, like, of course, supposed to set everything up to the Batgirl movie with Sasha Calle taking over for Superman. She's Supergirl now. Michael Keaton staying around as Batman, or at least Bruce Wayne, because he's gonna be retired and he's supposed to train that a Batgirl and stuff. That led into, like, the Batgirl movie. Then there is another one that set the internet on fire when they found this out. This one YouTuber, she said this crap was gonna happen. And a lot of people either forgot she said this or they didn't believe her. I forgot. Like when all this stuff started happening just now, I'm like, oh, she did say that and stuff. One was supposed to be Henry Cavill and that of Gal Gadot. Now, Henry, he filmed some additional stuff for the ending of this. But James Gunn and Peter Safran decided, nah, let's like ditch that completely because for whatever reason, either they didn't want to confuse people or he didn't want multiple Superman because he's now doing his Superman Legacy movie and stuff. So that got scrapped, and once again, Henry got screwed. But like I said before, Henry screwed himself many years ago when he did not want to do that cameo in Shazam. He should have just put on a suit, did that cameo, and kept doing what he's doing, but he didn't. That what infuriated Warner Brothers years ago to where they've been punishing him ever since. And a lot of people are saying, well, if Henry Cavill was in the ending of this movie, it would have saved the movie. No, it wouldn't. Did it save Black Adam? No. And stuff, but it still would have made people happy at least. And then when they found out he got scrapped, then, they got enraged. People really love Gal Gadot, even though that 84 movie really, really, really hurt her. But, she should have had a better send-off. And lately, she's been having the weirdest cameos in the Flash and Shazam movie. To where she's not even really there on set or filming with the people and stuff. And, now she's just like, screw it, man. I'm just going to focus on whatever movie I have coming up now. She's done with the DCEU. And so, like, then, of course, now we got the third ending and stuff. The one which confused the snot rockets out of a lot of people. One is that of a drunken Jason Momoa Aquaman who appears to be powerless and everything, and this new reality that Barry Allen is in. And a lot of people on Twitter felt like this was disrespectful for Aquaman because he's just a drunken, bumbling idiot who's laying on the floor. Now, that drunken scene, I have no idea when this was filmed. I don't know if it was filmed before James Gunn or after James Gunn. So we don't really know who to put the blame on for that one. But it was just kind of a stupid scene and everything. Then we have the brand new Batman for at least whatever reality Barry Allen's Flash is stuck in. George Clooney's Batman. That don't make any kind of sense, but that one YouTuber did say a past Batman was gonna appear and everything, and boy, she was right. Because George Clooney from Batman and Robin is now in this, which now is very confusing because a lot of people online are kind of like, wait, hold up. George Clooney Batman, Val Kilmer Batman, and Michael Keaton's Batman are technically the same exact Batman in the same exact universe. They just all got recast. So what the heck? So either this is just multiverse shenanigans going on, or, now they're trying to say, oh no, they're not in the same universe. We're going to rewrite everything to where all three of them are in completely different universes, which is going to piss off somebody like myself who grew up with those movies. Yes, I hate Batman and Robin, but I look at it as being chronological to that of Michael Keaton, Tim Burton, and Joel Schumacher and Val Kilmer stuff. So now you're screwing with my mind and my nostalgia and my childhood just so you can rewrite whatever crap you want to rewrite for your jacked up little universe you got going on right now. So I am not a happy camper with that. Plus, once again, he is the worst Batman ever. He has even stated that he was a good Bruce Wayne and everything, but he was a lousy Batman because Joel Schumacher just went a little too far with that movie. Actually, he didn't go a little too far. He went overboard with that movie and stuff. Oh, Joel, why'd you have to do that for, man? Because Batman Forever wasn't the greatest, but it was a heck of a lot better than Batman and Robin. And so this is confusing a lot of younger people because with the whole nostalgia bait, which I have been saying for the longest time, I am tired of cameos. I am tired of Easter eggs. I am tired of nostalgia. It is not working no more. It was a fun thing years ago, but every movie studio is and every television show is trying to recapture that nostalgia bait, and it's overboard now because a lot of people like myself were thrilled about Michael Keaton coming back because that is my Batman and stuff. I was fortunate to live in a time where I've had multiple Batman and stuff, but he is my live action movie Batman. But the thing is, a lot of younger people are watching this movie, and for a lot of younger people, their Batman is Ben Affleck's Batman and Christian Bale Batman, and so like they don't know who Michael Keaton is, and if they do, it's this they only watched the movies in the past, but still their Batman is mostly likely Christian Bale because of his trilogy and everything. And so they don't care for Michael Keaton. And they probably have no idea who George Clooney even is. And why people have such a frowness towards his movie and stuff. And so they're trying to lock on to the older audience, but they gotta remember about the younger one too. And the younger one have no idea what the heck is going on. And these people just don't know how to cook and everything, man. It's quite a shame. And Sasha Calle, people really seem to love her Supergirl, but now she might not be the new Supergirl going into the DCU. But she has said she has talked to Peter Safran and everything, so most likely she probably will. But will people accept her for her own solo movie? I don't know how her acting is. Maybe it was only good for the short amount of time that she had it, but can she carry a movie all on her own? That is the question people have to ask and stuff. It's kind of like the whole situation with like the new Wendy from the Peter Pan movie that came out on Disney Plus. I've seen her in Black Widow and she had a small part. She was okay in that, but she had to carry the entire Peter Pan movie on her own and she missed the mark and everything. And that's because she is new to acting and never went to acting school. Now, Sasha Calle, I have no idea what she's been up to acting wise and acting school and stuff. But before I go off on another tangent or whatever, let me get into Cyborg. Now, the Flash movie adapted that of the Flashpoint comic book. Flashpoint comic book was also made into an animated movie. The animated movie changed things slightly, but the animated movie is amazing. And, the problem here is that Cyborg is supposed to be front and center in the Flashpoint movie. Now they did adapt Flashpoint, but they changed a lot with it. Instead of Thompson Wayne, now Bruce Wayne is doing all his stuff. Sasha Calle is substituting Superman, but there's nobody to substitute Cyborg, who's supposed to be the world's new Superman. There's no war between Aquaman and Wonder Woman. That was left out, and that is quite a shame. And so, they went all the way back to the drawing board with Man of Steel with Zod coming in. And now that actor has criticized the movie and his role in the movie. But yet he praised Ezra Miller because I bet somebody forced him to. And so, so it is an adaptation, but it's very, very loosely based. You can get away with that if the story is good. Apparently, for a lot of people, the story probably isn't that good, or they're just boycotting it for whatever reason, which I will get into next. And so this is the thing that's been bugging me. They can keep Ezra Miller, but they can get rid of everybody else, including that of Cyborg Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher was discriminated against during that first Justice League movie so much that he made himself vocal and got a lot of people in trouble and a lot of people fired or demoted. Ever since then, WB has had a vendetta against Ray Fisher. If you think they hate Henry Cavill, oh no, they hate Ray Fisher even more. And so because of that, Ray Fisher has never appeared in a DC project ever since. He was in Peacemaker, Cyborg was, but only as, no wait, was he even there? I don't even think Cyborg made that silhouette cameo. I don't even think he was there, I don't think. I can't remember. But anyways, Ray Fisher has not been back. Ray Cyborg has been eliminated, erased from the new logo of DC, which infuriated a lot of people a couple of months ago when James Gunn took over. Then his version of Cyborg is not even in Flashpoint. Originally, he was supposed to be in the Flash movie as kind of like a buddy cop type movie, but he got completely scrapped once all that drama happened. I don't understand how you can keep a criminal, but you're gonna disrespect and be racist towards a man who has done absolutely nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing. But like I said before, just like with Black Adam and Shazam, those movies were doomed from the start. You had The Rock and his ego trying to take over, and people was not having that. Then there's the debacle between Henry Cavill, him bringing him in, him changing this around and this and that, and it bombed big time in his face. With Shazam 2, I've already said, like, you know, that movie was doomed for failure because so many of their stars had pissed people off in real life. And now you have the Flash movie where Ezra Miller takes the cake of offense and everything. Ezra Miller has pissed a lot of people off because of Ezra Miller's behavior, and a lot of people are not standing for that. You know, but this movie, like I said, was doomed from the start. You have James Gunn taking over and doing a soft reboot of the entire franchise, the DCU. Some people who love the DCEU still want that to continue. And then, of course, you got the Snyder Bros wanting the Snyderverse to continue, but that's not going to happen now because the DCU is in full swing and everything. And so people are constantly hopping online talking about fire James Gunn and Peter Safran, sell the rights to Netflix, restore the Snyderverse, boycott the WB, screw Ezra Miller, this and that, bring back Henry Cavill. All of that chatter online, of course, is going to resonate with people who feel strongly the same way with them and stuff, and they're going to boycott this movie one way or like another. It is very similar to the whole Into the Spider-Verse thing with the guy who voices Miles Morales. The black community is still pissed off at that actor from him attacking Rosa Parks for no reason during those Black Lives Matter protests. In fact, Across the Spider-Verse had the lowest number of a black audience and stuff, which is bizarre because Miles, even though he is Afro-Latino, people mostly associate him with the African-American community. They came out for the first movie, but in the second movie, they barely showed up and everything. Because people don't forget, man. And so, you know, people are boycotting this movie. Heck, I am one of those people. I refuse to give Ezra Miller any money. There are people who want the Snyderverse to continue, so they're boycotting this because they hate James Gunn and they hate Peter Safran because they want, like, you know, that to continue, but it's not, and it's going to this different, like, you know, universe. Plus, there are rumors that Jason Momoa might stick around as Lobo or might stick around as Aquaman, and so people are kind of like, well, what the heck, man? Why are you keeping this person, but you ain't keeping any of these other people? And then, of course, there is the Peacemaker stuff, which is getting a season 2. And yes, Peacemaker is part of the DCEU because Peacemaker was in the Suicide Squad movie. And so all of that and Amanda Waller as well is all part of that same universe. But James Gunn has decided, okay, I'm gonna keep what I created because I ain't getting rid of that, and I'm not getting rid of my wife. But I'm gonna get rid of some of this other stuff that Warner Bros. Is a little pissed off right now. But we're gonna keep Ezra Miller and stuff like that. Then they keep giving their support for Ezra Miller and talking about Ezra Miller's not going anywhere. And people are like, yo, man, what up with that? Because you're over here, like, firing other people who have done less or have done nothing at all. And, so people are going to boycott because of those reasons and stuff. And when people say, oh, now they're blaming us for the movie failure. Yeah, when you hop online every day talking about fire this person or restore this and restore that, it resonates with people. So you are partially to blame. I'm partially to blame because I refuse to give Ezra Miller any money and stuff. And I am not going to distance the character from the actor because both of them have the same exact face. And I feel like it's bullcrap when other celebrities get punished for stuff and they get punished for a very long time, but Ezra Miller is a literal criminal who will not go to prison because Ezra Miller is in a different universe and the police can't find him. Remember that quote? He taunted the police and everything. And so they're sticking by that person. Like, why? I mean, what Will Smith did was wrong, slapping Chris Rock. But the man, has apologized. Chris Rock has gotten his revenge through comedy. That's been like over a year ago. And Will Smith's career is literally over with and stuff. But Ezra Miller doesn't have no new upcoming projects, but they are still trying their best to kind of keep him on the DCU whatever crap. And not even recast. They're not even talking about recasting. If they were to come out and say, look, we're done with Ezra Miller, people would be more happy and more forgiving and stuff. But they're not doing that because they're acting like they're too scared to piss off, like, what? Ezra Miller fans? Majority of his fans have, like, turned on Ezra Miller. I mean, they went so far not to even have Ezra Miller do any press for this movie. And it's even to the point where so many of the trailers didn't even show Ezra's face and stuff. But Ezra Miller is still front and center in the comic that's based off that movie. The merchandise, like you go to Target, you see Ezra Miller's face everywhere. And, and even when Ezra Miller did like the premiere thing, Ezra Miller just looked like Ezra Miller always does, disturbed. Ezra Miller always looks disturbed. Even before all this criminal crap, every time Ezra Miller goes to a movie premiere, Ezra Miller is always dressed like Ezra Miller, and there's always that disturbed look on Ezra Miller's face. Ezra Miller is a very disturbed, I believe, psychotic person and stuff. And there's no reason to do what you did. And I'm tired of people making the excuse, oh, well, Ezra Miller had a tragic loss because Ezra Miller's friend died of something. Man, you know how many people die in this world? You know how many people, friends die in this world? You know how many people, family members died in this world? Heck, my cousin is dead and died on my birthday just a couple of months ago. You don't see me going to a bar and smashing a woman's head open with like a stool. You don't see that crap because I got more better sense not to do nothing like that. And, it's like, seriously, it's like people need to stop making excuses for Ezra. And they're like, well, that's why Ezra had a nervous breakdown. Get some counseling, get some help, or get over yourself. But the fact that Ezra Miller terrorized Hawaii for over a month and got away with it is bizarre and bonkers in my head. It's like, how in the world did Ezra Miller get away with it? Because somebody flipped that bill and everything. And we all know who that is with the little pointy devil horns and everything. And so with all this surrounding the movie and stuff, then you got the cameos that they thought was going to help the movie out. But a lot of people didn't appreciate those cameos from what I read on Twitter. They didn't like the CGI that was used in it. They didn't like some of the people that was used in it. Like Christopher Reeves, which should have been a big crowd pleaser and stuff, and Helen Slater. A lot of people was pissed online because they say, Christopher Reeves is dead. Leave him alone. Don't resurrect him and everything. I'm just quoting what other people are saying. And they should have used Brandon Routh, because Brandon Routh is technically that same version of Superman. Christopher Reeves just recast and everything. But they didn't even bring him in. So people are pissed about that. Then people are confused from the dude from the CW show, The Flash. They say it's Jay Garrett, but as we know, that was like, Zoom from season 2. But the actor literally didn't film anything new. They're now trying to say that is really, what's his name, John Wesley Snips or something like that. They're trying to say it's a de-aged version of him. How is that a de-aged version of him when the costume don't even match up, and he got his powers when he was like a young adult, and the costume don't match, the face don't match? It's two completely actors. How in the world is that, like, oh no, I'm thinking of something different. Hold on. No, I'm getting some confused. I'm thinking of Jay Garrett. Yeah, they say it's a de-aged Jay Garrett from the Flash television show. I'm thinking of there's two different Flash television shows, and I'm getting a little confused. I'm thinking of the 1990s. That was also played by the Wesley Snipes dude. But anyway, there is a Jay Garrett on the Flash current. Oh, well, it used to be current. The CW show, I'll put it that way. And so they say the other dude is like, Sears is like, a de-aged version of that, which he's not, because he looks completely different in the face. And so, like, that threw people off, and plus people just wanted Grant Gustin. But supposedly, I think Grant was originally supposed to be in this, I read, but then they decided to scrap that because most likely, and this is only an assumption, they didn't want the whole recast him with Grant Gustin thing to happen again, because that was something that was very big on Twitter back in the day. And, people love Grant Gustin. That is their Barry Allen and everything. And so if he would have appeared in the movie, people was all like, well, why not just stick with him and everything? Why not have the CW one go into the DCU universe and be that Flash? That's what people wanted. That's what people said months ago. So they probably wanted to avoid that and everything. And, somebody else cameo. What was it? Oh, Nicolas Cage, Superman. I haven't seen no negative about that. It's kind of cool he finally got to play Superman. I don't think he actually appeared in it though. He should have. I mean, the dude needs the money bad. He's still in debt, I heard. And so, but I'm glad he never played Superman. Honest to God, I'm so glad, because he just doesn't look like Superman. The dude always looks grumpy, depressed, or psychotic and everything. He doesn't, like every movie you ever see that man in, he looks like he's disturbed and stuff. And he never looks like he's happy. Superman's supposed to smile and everything. And, and of course, they could have used any cameos they wanted, they said. But, there's a lot of them they skipped and stuff. They didn't use Brandon Routh. They didn't use Tyler Hoechlin. They didn't use nobody from the animated series. They didn't use Wonder Woman for some bizarre reason. And it's like, there's a time and place where you have to realize that, look, we need to scrap this movie, man, and do a tax write-off or just recast. Because this movie was sadly, like, doomed from the start. Like, the Dairy Girl who's supposed to be in this movie, I always wonder, who the heck is she going to play? Because it's never been revealed. And then I'm like, well, it can't be nobody important because, like, there's no hype surrounding her. And then so she's finally happy this movie finally got out, because this movie has been in place for a very, very, very long time. I'm not talking about the initial creation of it like over 10 years ago. I'm talking about like the past 5 years or so after it got through being filmed and ready to go. But Ezra Miller had to be Ezra Miller. So now we getting into the DCU with the whole Aquaman 2. Don't nobody want to see that, because one, there's been tons of reshoots for that movie, so it's probably not that good. And now we know how Jason Momoa Aquaman is going to end up drunk and depowered and stuff. And like, that movie ain't gonna matter because the whole universe is getting rebooted. And James Gunn makes no sense. He said that Blue Beetle is the very first DCU character, but the Superman Legacy is the very first DCU movie. Well, if it's the first movie, then how the heck is that the first character? Unless somehow they redid Blue Beetle to where he gets sucked into the DCU, then that will make sense and everything. But will Blue Beetle even do good? Who the heck knows? And really, who the heck cares now? Like, I'm all for new heroes, but I just feel like Blue Beetle should be, I don't know, I always see him in a team, a group. I've never seen him solo, and it's kind of like, will he be able to carry this movie off solo? And it's gonna be another family movie like Shazam, and I don't want that because that was dismal and everything. And so the DC, whatever it wants to be, and Warner Brothers, they need to get their act together big time, man. Because it's like, what the heck are they doing over there? We all know David Zaslav has no idea what he's doing. James Gunn has a plan, but he's gonna have studio interference because Zaslav don't know what the heck he's doing and stuff. But will James Gunn's stuff even worse? I've told you this before. The majority of the stuff James Gunn has lined out, I could care less about. The only thing I care about are the live action movies from heroes I actually know about. I don't want another old Batman. I don't want Damian Wayne. I don't I don't want that because you're gonna have a young Superman but an old Batman again. Like, why are you repeating the same mistakes of the DCEU? And you're gonna have a Superman movie, but why are we getting a Superman movie and a Supergirl movie? You know, and it's kind of like, let one be super and then let the other one come in much later on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And there's gonna be another Superman origin movie, and we've had so many of those. I say just go in the middle and have him already be Superman. Throw flashbacks in if you want, but I'm tired of seeing the origin. Kind of like how the MCU Spider-Man. I'm glad they didn't do an origin because it get repetitive after a while. And if they do another origin, it's gonna be similar to the original Superman movie and then the Man of Steel movie. So we're gonna see the same crap over again, just retold with different people. And one of the people that they're casting looks a lot like Henry Cavill. Are they trying to have their cake and eat it too? That's just gonna piss people off more who wants Henry Cavill in the movie. Mufasa did not die for this. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.